Hello, fragrant world. Welcome back to the Fragrant Life. My name is Keith, and for all the first timers here, welcome. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon for notifications, like the video, thumbs up, share these videos, and definitely be active in the comment section. So this is probably my second video being back. And this video is going to be about 5 fragrances in my personal collection that I don't really care much for and I don't really reach for that much. If you want to know what these 5 fragrances are and what I have to say about them, stay tuned. So let's just go ahead and get down to the meat and potatoes of this video. So first up, I want to talk about a fragrance that I picked up, and being that the original was such a success, in my personal opinion, I own a bottle of it and I absolutely love it. I did have somewhat high expectations for the flanker that came after it, and a fragrance that I'm talking about is from the house of Mont Blanc, and this is Mont Blanc Ultra Blue. Now, this one did not come with a cap because this is a tester bottle, and I also did not dust it off, so you can see that I don't really grab or gravitate towards this fragrance or the other ones that I have here at all. I did spray them before I started doing the video just to give myself a refresher on why I don't reach for them. To me, Mont Blanc Explorer is okay.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I get almost like a roach spray kind of vibe from it. It says it has marine accords, it's aromatic, which it definitely is. Definitely citrusy, a bit fruity. It is a bit woody, salty. It's a soft, spicy, sweet, fresh, spicy, and aquatic style fragrance. Note breakdown: Sicilian bergamot, pink pepper, exotic fruits, sea notes, ambergris, woodsy notes, Indonesian patchouli leaf, I should say Indonesian patchouli leaf, and leather. Not a bad note breakdown, but to me, it just comes off bland and a bit boring. Just my personal opinion. If anyone would be interested in this fragrance, definitely do not purchase it from a retail store such as Macy's or who else? Nordstrom's or Ulta Beauty or anything like that. Definitely find it at discounters. Fragrance X, Fragrance Net, FragranceBuy.ca, places like that. You also can find these on occasion at Ross, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls. So with that being said, first up, number 5 on the list, Ultra Blue by Mont Blanc. At the number 4 spot, another fragrance that I got my nose on. My daughter and I, a couple of years back, were in Savannah, Georgia. And there's an outlet, a Tanger outlet mall, and they have like there's a couple of perfume stores there, but there's a Coach store like right across the way from one of those fragrance stores. And my daughter and I stopped by the Coach store, and obviously being a fragrance connoisseur, if you want to call it, I was intrigued by the fragrances. I just wanted to see what they had that I hadn't gotten my nose on. And I'm a huge fan of the original Coach for Men. That is a phenomenal fragrance in my personal opinion. I absolutely love it. But I got my nose on another one that had not too long ago released, and it was called Coach Platinum. And as you can see, this one is still dusty also. I don't reach for this fragrance much. The more I did keep trying to wear it, it did started getting a bit better to me, a bit more wearable, but I just stopped reaching for it. It started turning more bland and boring again to me. And I know a lot of people love this fragrance. They live and die by it. They swear by it. I, for one, I just don't reach for it. To me, it's just not all of that. The first time I smelled it in the Coach store, it smelled phenomenal to me. But what I think happened is I was smelling notes from other scents that were being sprayed in the store, and it was blending with this. And what I get from this is mostly vanilla on my skin. This is said to be a woody, aromatic, fresh, spicy. As I said, it has vanilla, powdery a bit, little sweet, fruity. It's a warm, spicy, it's musky, and a bit leathery. Released in 2018, and it supposedly has notes of pineapple, in which I personally don't pick up. The black pepper, yes. Juniper berries, yes. Cashmerean, not so much. Sage and geranium. I do get the geranium, but most out of everything, I pick up sandalwood and vanilla. There's patchouli in this also, as I stated earlier, but for the most part, for me, I mostly get vanilla and the sandalwood, which isn't a bad scent profile, but I just expected more from this fragrance and I didn't get it. So number 4, Coach Platinum. Believe it or not, at the number 3 spot is yet another Coach fragrance. Which one, you might ask? Well, this one actually was picked up after I picked up Coach Platinum, and I wanted to like this fragrance. And just spraying it a few seconds ago once again to give myself another refresher. The scent profile of this one is not bad at all. Let me get you a little bit of more of a close-up here. And yes, you can probably see a little bit. This is not as dusty. This is a newer pickup for me. I like the scent profile of this one, but for some reason, it doesn't perform well on my skin. Now, maybe I was wearing it in situations where this isn't plausible to wear, but I definitely want to give this one another try. This is a citrus and ozonic style fragrance. It's aromatic, fresh, spicy, woody, ambery. It has conifer. It's bitter, green, and sour, and I get all of that. This one is released in 2020, so it is a fairly new release. Has notes of lime, absinthe. There are ozonic notes, black pepper, cedar, and amber. And like I said, the scent profile of this one is not bad at all. I absolutely do love the scent profile of it, but it just does not perform well on my skin. Maybe I'll give it another shot. Maybe I'll put it up on my card for sale. Who knows? But at the number 3 spot, another one from Coach Blue. So at the number 2 spot, a fragrance house that I really personally don't care much for. I've never really owned a lot of fragrances, if any, from this particular house. And when I finally got into FragCom and people were talking about Hugo Boss bottled and how it smelled like apple pie, I was intrigued by it. So I did pick that up, and then they started talking about the intense version. Well, I got the intense version, and for some reason, I sold it like an idiot, and I kept the original, in which the original suits me just fine. It doesn't really matter. It wasn't that much of a difference to me anyway. But other than that, I don't really have many other Boss fragrances. Maybe Unlimited, which is a great freshie. It's perfect for spring and summer. But when I saw this one, I was intrigued by it, and mainly because it was a 200 ml style bottle, and I don't own, if this isn't the only, I don't own many 200 ml style bottles, size bottles. So Hugo Boss Night. And this one has a whole lot of violet in it. And for those who don't know what violet is or how violet can come off, Violet can come off one of two ways that I know of. One way is what you would get in Dior Fahrenheit, and it comes off, as we call it, like gasoline. Some say they don't get gasoline, but I don't see how you can't not get gasoline smell from it. But for the most part, it can come off like gasoline, or it can come off a bit powdery. And in this case, it comes off like gasoline, or has that petrol kind of vibe to me. This is a woody fragrance with lots of violet. It does come off a little bit powdery, but it leans more petrol smelling to me. It does have lavender, leather is smoky, musky, floral, aromatic, and a fresh spicy. And for the most part, I don't get a lot of those other accords. I mostly get violet from this, and that's about it. It is aromatic, but it doesn't last a whole lot of time on my skin. This was released in 2010, and it has notes of lavender and birch, violet, woodsy notes, and musk. And I do pick up on a little bit on musk, not so much the birch. So yeah, this is one that completely went over my head, and I don't get the concept behind this being called Boss Bottle Night. It leans more fresh to my nose, but hey, who am I to say? So at the number 2 spot, Hugo Boss Night. Now I know some of you may be sitting back wondering, well, if he didn't like any of those, I wonder what the number 1 spot could be. Well, with the release of the original Missoni Wave came out, and I had super high expectations for Missoni Wave because the original Missoni Pour Homme, I believe it was called, was a huge success. And it kind of was a alternative to Bleu de Chanel. And I was looking for an alternative for a long time because I just personally did not want to spend money on any kind of Dior fragrance because they usually don't go on sale or discounted or whatever you want to call it. But Missoni came out with Missoni Wave for men. And when I saw it, I definitely wanted to give it a shot. And although the scent profile is not bad, to my nose, this comes off a bit perfumey. And I'm not huge on a lot of perfumey smelling fragrances. Just my personal opinion. It is very aromatic. It's citrusy. It has marine accords. It's a fresh spicy. It's floral. It's woody. It has lavender and a bit salty, which also isn't a bad profile. This was released in 2020, so this is another fairly new release. C notes, citruses, Sicilian mandarin, middle notes, lavender, clary sage, rosemary, and Egyptian. Pelargonium, whatever that is. I didn't look this up, so don't shoot the messenger. Base notes, vanilla accord, Haitian vetiver, patchouli, and oak moss.
I can't get jiggy with this shit
at all. And this is just a release from Missoni that I just could have done without. It just doesn't do it for me. And a lot of these fragrances turn into like grab and goes or dumb reach scents. Sometimes I'll spray them like just around the house just to get a different scent in the house when I don't want to light up my incense or whatever. But for the most part, these 5 fragrances just didn't do it for me, guys. And if anything on here is something that you absolutely care for or love,
sorry about your damn luck.
Hey, that's a part of FragCom. That's a part of life. We're not always going to agree on the same fragrances, the same style of fragrances. We're not going to agree on bottle sizes. We're not going to agree on note profiles. You may smell something that I don't smell, and I may smell something you don't smell. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But if you like videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section to do more videos as such. My name is Keith, and I'm out, y'all. Here is, well, I can't say here's to smelling great because 5 of these fragrances I didn't really care for. So I'm out, y'all. Peace.